The first 72 hours of quitting anything, whether it's a substance, a toxic relationship, or a version of yourself you've outgrown, is not a test of your willpower. It's a survival mission. If you try to use discipline to get through these 3 days, you will likely fail. Why? Because your brain is currently undergoing a hardware reboot without your permission. Most people crash during this window because they think they are losing a battle of character, when really they are just experiencing a temporary glitch in their internal wiring. By the end of this video, you will know exactly why your brain turns into a world-class liar during these 3 days, and more importantly, you'll have the survival map to make sure you're the one who comes out on top. Let's get one thing straight. The first 72 hours are about one thing only: letting time pass without going back. That sounds simple when I say it here, standing in front of this digital whiteboard. But when you are inside that 72-hour window, nothing is simple. Everything is loud. Everything is urgent. Every minor inconvenience feels like a 5-alarm fire. You aren't trying to be productive right now. You aren't trying to figure out your 5-year plan. You are just trying to keep the ship from sinking. But here is where it gets interesting. Have you ever wondered why it feels so physically painful to stop doing something that you know is bad for you? It's because your brain has built a literal city around that habit. Think of your habits as massive, multi-lane highways in your mind. Your brain has spent years paving these roads, timing the traffic lights, and building rest stops. This habit is part of your brain's operating system. It's how it knows when to wake up, how to handle a bad boss, and how to fall asleep. Then, suddenly, you decide to tear up the highway. Your brain doesn't see this as self-improvement. It sees it as a natural disaster. It doesn't understand that you made a conscious choice to be better. All it knows is that the road it used to get relief is gone, and it starts sending out emergency distress signals. This is why you feel restless, anxious, and overwhelmed. Your brain is panicking because its favorite tool is missing. But wait, don't let that panic fool you. Here is a shocking fact. Discomfort is not the same thing as danger. Your brain will try to convince you that you are in genuine peril. It will tell you that you are dying, or that you can't breathe, or that you'll never be happy again. But you aren't in danger. You're just changing. Real change, the kind that actually sticks, feels exactly like a mid-level emergency. If it doesn't feel a little bit like your world is ending, you probably aren't changing deep enough. Let me show you what day one actually looks like. You wake up, and for about 5 seconds, you're fine. Then, the spotlight turns on. Your brain realizes the habit is gone, and it begins the search. You might reach for your phone or a specific drawer, or think about texting someone you know you shouldn't. This motion is automatic. Your muscles have a memory of their own. When you catch yourself and stop, your system floods with confusion. What do I do now? The brain asks. This absence isn't just a thought, it's a physical gap in your reality. And this is where the brain becomes the most talented liar you have ever met. Stay with me here, because understanding this liar is the only way to survive day 2. Your brain won't just say, "I want that thing. That's too easy to fight." Instead, it will start rewriting your history. It will show you a highlight reel of your habit. It will remind you of the one time that person made you laugh, or the 5 minutes of relief that substance gave you. It will conveniently delete the memory of the shame, the broken promises, and the rock bottom that brought you here in the first place. It's like a movie trailer that makes a terrible film look like an Oscar winner. Your memory is not reliable right now. It is being edited in real time to manipulate you. When you see those highlights, you have to remember, the full movie was a disaster. That's why you're here. But here's a weird fact that most people don't realize. In the first 72 hours, time literally breaks. Have you ever noticed how 20 minutes of waiting for a bus feels like an hour, but an hour of scrolling social media feels like 5 minutes? When your brain is in distress, your perception of time stretches. Researchers have actually measured this. In states of withdrawal or high anxiety, minutes can feel like hours. This is why people quit on day 2. They feel like they've been suffering for a month when it's only been half a day. They think, if it's this hard now, how can I do this for the rest of my life? The answer is, you don't have to do it for the rest of your life. You just have to survive the next 15 minutes. You see, every urge has a lifespan. It's like a wave in the ocean. It starts small, it builds up, it peaks at a terrifying height, and then it breaks and washes away. Most urges, even the ones that feel like they are going to snap you in half, only last about 15 to 30 minutes. That's it. You don't have to fight the wave. Fighting it just makes you tired. You just have to float, let it rise, let it peak, and wait for it to fall. If you can survive 30 minutes, you can survive the urge. If you're finding this map of the brain helpful so far, hit subscribe. It helps me keep the Academy running, and honestly, most people watching right now aren't subscribed yet. Now, let's talk about the gap. The hardest part of these 3 days isn't just the physical craving, it's the identity crisis. For a long time, this habit was how you defined yourself. It was how you handled boredom, how you celebrated, and how you coped. Without it, you might feel like you don't know who you are. You don't know what to do with your hands. You don't know how to have a conversation. This is the gray zone. It's incredibly boring. The things that used to be fun feel flat. Music sounds dull. Food tastes like cardboard. This happens because your brain is used to massive spikes of dopamine from your habit. Compared to that high, normal life feels like black and white TV. But stay until the end, because I'm going to tell you exactly when the color starts coming back. Think about Stephen King. He's one of the most successful writers in history, but for years, he was lost in a fog of drugs and alcohol. He once said he doesn't even remember writing the book Cujo. When he quit, his brain told him the same lies yours is telling you. It told him he couldn't write without it. It told him he wasn't himself without it. He felt like he was missing a limb, but he held on. He didn't use willpower, he just let time pass. And on the other side, he discovered something incredible. He was actually a better writer sober. He was more present for his family. The limb he thought he lost wasn't a limb at all. It was a chain. He had to go through the 72-hour death zone to find the version of himself that was actually worth being. So, how do you actually get through the rest of this window? I want to give you 3 frames to hold on to. Frame 1, delay, don't deny. When the liar in your head says, I need this right now, don't say never. Never is too big. Never makes the brain panic. Instead say, not right now, maybe in an hour. By the time that hour passes, the wave of the urge will have peaked and fallen. You didn't say no to the rest of your life. You just said, not yet, to this moment. Frame 2, stability over progress. This is not the time to start a new workout routine, learn a new language, and clean your entire house. Your brain is already running a marathon just to stay stable. Don't add more weight. Your only job is to stay upright. If all you do today is breathe and stay away from the habit, you have had a 100% successful day. Frame 3, watch the peak. When the discomfort gets so bad you feel like you're going to scream, recognize that you are at the peak. It cannot get any worse than this. You are at the top of the mountain. Every second you hold on from this point forward, the intensity actually begins to decrease. You are already winning. The first 72 hours are the hardest you will ever face because you are building something invisible. Self-trust. Every time you feel an urge and don't obey it, you are proving to yourself that you are no longer a slave to your impulses. You are showing your brain that you are the one in charge of the operating system. This evidence compounds. It builds a foundation that will support you for the next 72 years. The bridge is burning behind you, and I know it's hot. I know it's scary. Your brain is screaming at you to turn around and run back to the safety of the old you. But that safety was a cage. The only way to the new you is to keep walking through the smoke. The color will come back. The boredom will fade. The gray zone will eventually turn into a world more vibrant than you can imagine. But you only get to see it if you stay in the race. Drop a comment telling me what hour you are on or what habit you are currently breaking. Let's support each other in the trenches. And subscribe if you haven't. I post new videos every week to help you navigate this crazy thing called life. Stick with it. You're already doing better than you think.